Yes, sir. How are you? Jump up here.
Oh yeah. You are always improving in your practice. Everybody says, "Oh, there's some great pictures of that." Or an athlete, right? Right. I brought that because I had 16 I will. Yeah.
Well, good morning, all.
Well, that's not bad. Good morning.
We will do some practices this morning. We're going to kind of maybe start off with a little walking, and then move to just kind of a smattering of everything, I think. So if you want to grab a cushion or something, we'll probably do a little bit of a body scan. So if you want to grab something for underneath your legs or a blanket, have that nearby. Support.
Are we starting with that? With the body?
We're going to start with a walking meditation, just on our mats or near our mats. So just the short runway. And, noticing it's getting a little darker, so the room's pretty dark. I hope people are okay with that.
Yeah, fine.
It's either I'm going to dim the spotlight a little bit. Is that right, Catherine?
I think you can dip there.
Well, if I snore, would somebody wake me up?
I'll be right next to you. So and if you're feeling tired, we can sit upright or open your eyes. Some others will be joining us as well, I'm sure. Maybe shake things out a little bit, a little quick stretch. As we can begin the mountain. Checking in with our breath this morning. Some allowing it to travel into the belly and out. Just kind of expanding the belly, massage in some ways. Take a long, slow exhale. And when it makes sense, we'll begin a walking meditation. And now our body scan. Just again, noticing all the adjustments the body makes just to support itself in this position. In some ways,
scanning and attending to the body already. And perhaps just attending to sensations of the breath, perhaps specifically around the abdominal area and the chest, just watching the rise and the falling of these two areas. As you're breathing. And now directing our attention to sensations of the right foot. Bringing a sense of curiosity and naming in a word or two the sense of coolness or tingling feel. As we've been practicing, it's naming or just noting. Whatever makes sense. Like, noticing now just a sense of pressure in the right heel, maybe. And when you're ready, breathing with the right foot. Now directing your attention to the right shin and calf. Noticing those sensations that maybe come or go, are constant. Again, maybe there's just a sense of neutrality or lack of sensations in the right calf and shin. And when you're ready, breathing with the right calf and shin. Directing our attention to sensations in the right thigh. Sensations of a spasm or sense of electricity. Perhaps a sense again of spaciousness or lack of sensations. Just noticing the right thigh. And now breathing with the right thigh. Directing our attention to sensations in the left foot. Just noticing what's present in the body. Throughout any of our practices, we're just noticing the mind wander off. And we can create events in our own head, or there'll be events that occur outside our own internal experience. They just start stories and reactivity and kind of second arrow stuff. We just notice that. And just it makes sense, just direct it. At times, directing your attention to what makes sense in that moment. Now we're practicing just noticing sensations in the left foot. This is cramping or involuntary movement. And now breathing with the left foot. Moving to the left calf and shin. Noticing what's present now, in this moment. The left calf and shin. And breathing with the left calf and shin. Attending to sensations in the left thigh. Noticing sensations in the left thigh. And breathing with the left thigh. Tending to sensations in the pelvic region. Practicing just general awareness around the pelvic region, just kind of noticing and seeing what sensations greet the mind. And maybe directing the mind's attention to specific areas, maybe the buttocks. It's a pressure, numbness. Directing your mind to the various parts in the pelvic region. And now breathing with the pelvic region. Now attending to sensations in the lower back. Maybe a sense of coolness is noticed, or perhaps a sense of airiness. Sense of density or structure in the lower back. Moving to the upper back. Perhaps an itch. Softness, a hardness. Just attending to the upper back. Moving to the chest area. Noticing sensations that are created from the breath, perhaps, and the chest. into the abdominal area. Noticing sensations from movement of the breath. Maybe a sense of just emptiness, queasiness. Some parts lack sensation. And when you're ready, just breathing with just the upper torso. And now attending to sensations in the hands. Perhaps it's a coolness in certain parts of the hands. And what's a sense of breeze or airiness. Parts that may be warm. Achy. Lack sensation. Now directing our attention to sensations in the forearm. What is present now in the forearm? Moving to the upper arms. Maybe a sense of constriction or a caressing from clothing. Sense of pressure or some itchiness from the floor or the mat. Sense of just softness. Just noticing the upper arms. Now shoulders. Noticing the sensations of the shoulders. And now neck. Maybe just noting, might not be a description, just noting sensations in the neck. And now, breathing with the neck and shoulders and upper arms, forearms and hands, allowing the breath to travel into and out of the hands. Directing our attention to sensations of the head. Sensations perhaps of the ears. Back of the head. Top of the head. Sensations in the front of the head. And breathing with the head. And now attending to the whole body. Noticing which parts of the body have sensations that send this data to the mind. And perhaps just checking on the various parts of the body. Noticing what's present now. And now breathing with the body. Now for some mindful movement. Kind of starting in corpse pose. So just noticing those parts of the body that need some attention with some movement, allowing that movement to occur, noticing the sensations are created from the movement. Perhaps it's just a little bit of a stretch. The movement will be on your own. Just be for a few minutes. Not a long time. I'll let you know when we're about the halfway mark. Just moving the hand. Just noticing sensations of movement of the hand. Noticing the movement to one side. Noticing the sensations and moving to one side and just resting on one side. Just noticing the body and just allowing the movement to occur. That makes sense for your body now. That makes sense. Maybe pausing every once in a while. Noticing sensations of the body and a pause. And noticing the breath. Softening the body in the pause, or even softening parts of the body as you're moving. we're about that halfway point. So just continue with the mindful movement. We're about that halfway point. Now for sitting meditation. Perhaps just noticing sensations of the body now in this position. Softening those parts of the body that can be soft. We're more familiar now with the mind and how it continues to go into storing, evaluate data, and we're learning how to be with the mind, the body, all the parts. This spirit of allowing, perhaps being with, at times when it makes sense, maybe directing our mind's attention to that which anchors you, perhaps now, just awareness of sensations in the in-breath and the out-breath. This practice of just being with sensations of the
breath. Noticing it all. Perhaps it's the sounds, and just maybe resting your attention there. Noticing the mind and the stories, which we talked about some time ago, is maybe first arrow events that we remember, or first arrow events that we created in our own head, our own mind. And maybe noticing the second arrow stuff that can accompany that. At some point with this awareness, maybe saying, directing your attention to the body, how the thoughts and feelings have created some different sensations in the body. When it makes sense, perhaps just returning back to that which anchors you, perhaps sensations of the breath. There's a sense of fluidity and flow in it all. The mind will flow off, and we can be even aware that the mind is flowing off. And pausing in that awareness, it continues to flow and change. And now some words from Carrie Newcomer. Breathe. Breathe. If not deeply, at least a little. Remembering that most days, if I'm willing to see, I am more astonished than not by goodness. And if I open my notebook, the one I keep in my pocket, it would be filled from front to back with recorded kindnesses, a litany of living, gestures of love made visible. And now we will be writing a letter to ourselves. So I'll be walking around handing out a piece of paper and an envelope and a pen. My understanding is that the mindfulness in its original language can be translated into remembering. So write a letter to yourself that no one else will read. Put it in the envelope, address it to yourself, and bring it back here. The content is what I need to remember. I'll be mailing these to you sometime in the future. So it would be a message from yourself. What do I need to remember? When you turn them back in here, up here, then we'll probably get into pairs and then just sharing with your partner, taking turns in sending and receiving. What you notice about today's practice, what you notice about this week's practices that were done on your own, and or what you've learned or want to remember about the class. So maybe touching upon those 3 points. Noticings of today, of this week, and the last 7 weeks. Feel free to sit here and fill out the letter, or you can move to the parlor. But when you're done, if you can just bring the stuff back here. Recognizing it's a little dark.
Come back in about 2 minutes.
When you're done, just come back with the letters and give them to me, so I'll know that's when I know you're done. Seal the envelope as well. All good. It's all good. Stuff it in the envelope, right?
Interesting. Everything I need to remember.
Perhaps we can all gather now in the circle of chairs. And some of you had some time to communicate, others not so much, but let's just take a pause and just notice. Okay. Welcome to class 8. I want to begin by just checking on or sharing. It might not be new patterns, but just sharing any observations, noticing, wonderings about our practice today or the practice this last week. So noticing about today or this past week. This past week it was just pretty open-ended, just doing your own practices.
Reading into the magic shop has really helped to emphasize for me the importance of balancing the practices of mindfulness-based stress reduction with love and keeping the heart open. And because without that, at some point, everything else just sort of never satisfies, and we're not complete. At least that's the practical side, and it's been amazing. It even helps me with certain areas of pain that have bothered me. Not terribly, but it's just that sending love and allowing it as it dissipates, and it helps. The love thing helps me practice more and to be more committed and trusting of it. So it feels better. Yay.
Yeah, I felt the same way reading that. Feeling almost meditating, almost feel like the heart opening, kind of like a physical sensation at the end there. I felt really peaceful. Yeah, so cute that she was pointing to you.
Oh, no, she said the exact same thing.
So thank you, Peggy.
Oh, thank you.
Peggy, thank you for that podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in a little bit, we'll share more about how we do week 8. I want to stay with what was happening today or this past week a little bit. And last week's invitation was a little bit about loving kindness, and there was a practice that we did, and a little bit of reading. It wasn't so much an invitation, but I think all the practices maybe some intention just to be allowing, befriending, being with, breathing. Okay. Yeah.
I think I really appreciated the article on self-compassion, and I found myself, trying to wake up to meditate first thing in the morning before everything gets going, and then not doing it, and then being mad at myself. But then falling back with the self-compassion article and realizing that it's okay, and so later on I would do it for 10 minutes, whatever it was, and how that was okay. Just any little bit, just and better than nothing. Progress over perfection.
I have found myself really enjoying my little, even 30 seconds to maybe 2 minutes in the middle of the day. Like especially if, your mind's going crazy or something's going on with the kids and stuff, and I'm thinking, okay, if I just like breathe, and I really, I'll repeat that, maybe they'll be safe, maybe they'll be happy, maybe they'll be healthy, they live in peace and ease, and it's like I do that, I breathe, and it's like, okay, and then I just kind of, but I think it kind of helps, I feel more grounded, and when thoughts come into my head, that one of the first things I think of is, okay, breathe, and, or I go through my little see-through, compassion, in my head. But I've found that I'm more forgiving of myself and not saying, okay, oh my gosh, I haven't done this for half an hour. So it's like, I've still been good at least sitting down at least once, and sometimes it's not till right before I go to bed, usually, for like my 10 or 15 minutes of sitting meditation, and then I, do a lot of other things, but I'm enjoying my 1 or 2 minutes and saying, oh, yeah, this is okay just to do it for a minute. Instead of having that in my head, okay, do it here for half an hour, do it here for 15. So it's kind of a nice thing to keep in the back of your brain.
Isn't there a quote by the like meditation is in practice, it's one breath?
Yeah, that is one of it, yeah.
So we're all individuals. We have our individual stories and things that happen, but I'm also, maybe we have some similar patterns, and we're trying to figure out how do I, whatever the invitations would be, from the class or from outside the class, you're like, okay, well, how am I going to incorporate this in my life? It's Kristen Neff's words of just being mindful. Oh, there I go again. Part of common humanity. Yeah, probably other people wanted to meditate this morning and didn't get it done, and I'm not alone. And some kindness around that. Maybe it is a single breath or an ease or a little loving kindness mantra to self. So.
Well, about a year ago, the universe told me I'd been involved in meditation at the Yin Institute in Chicago. I used to take classes in psychology there. And I've been involved in my church in meditation, but I had two big losses. I had to leave my church after 40 years, and don't ask me about it. There were too many negative things that were occurring. And that was extremely hard because all of my life I've been involved in church since my mom died when I was 10, and I've always relied upon them for strength. And I had to learn over the last 5 months to learn to depend upon myself. So the meditation was extremely helpful instead of thinking I'll hear the pastor who didn't help me. But I had to learn to do it for myself. And then my husband got sick a year ago. He was sick for 1 year. We finally found out he had to have surgery. And then the kids kept calling, what's the matter with Dad? So I'd always counted on him also to be the strong one. And the psychiatrist, he was brilliant. And it's like I had to strengthen. So this meditation has been real force for good for me to be able to stand there and say, okay, I can make it without that church. And we've been visiting other churches. I can make it even if Paul is sick. And he's better. He's not well yet, but he's better. But it's like it's strengthening me. And he even told me a couple months ago, he used to kid me about having a strong personality. You really have a strong personality. Let me be by myself for half an hour, he would say, and sort. He was a big introvert. But he told me a couple months ago after he had surgery, he said, I'm really glad you're becoming a strong woman. I kidded him. I said, can I get that on tape? So I have found that meditation very, very practical and helpful so that I can go about my life and enjoy doing things with people instead of obsessing about this is going wrong, what's going to happen. So I'm finding it extremely practical.
So I hear the first arrows.
Mm-hmm.
I hear meditation and probably other things that have been supportive for you to just, I'll go back to the video long ago, peace within, or freedom within. It's freedom. But it's just to be able to have some choice, because when the second arrows come, that's when we can get in this box, and it just gets dark, or can be. And so how to be in the darkness, and how to be in the lightness.
And you find light.
I've been thinking about, sorry, you're about to say something.
No.
I've been thinking about how everybody here is really informed some part of what I was, I've experienced around. I mean, every single person, I could go around the room and say that, but really, that's very true. And even, there are people who haven't shared a lot, but maybe have a different expression on their face or opened up, or what they said was very meaningful. So I think I'm taking that from this class because it's really been a point of thought throughout the day to kind of keep the basis in my mind, the experiences that's good. Thank you.
I agree with that. I feel like perhaps my favorite part is the sharing, because a lot of times it's exactly what I'm thinking, but I'm not sure oh, I didn't meditate, and then people say it, and then it's okay. The thing I've noticed, and it's happened enough that, I shared a close back, but the best thing that's happened for me is I used to, before this class, like, it's bad, blah, 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 blah. Now, if I can clear my mind, sometimes I'll get a problem, and then I'll get a solution, and then I'll get what to do about it. Like, I have choice. So I don't totally try to always shut off all the thoughts, but instead of just wallowing in whatever it is, I guess we were talking about how it is, because if you clear out all the garbage, you can kind of hear your inner voice, and it's there. And so that's kind of it.
I keep calling them golden nuggets. Like, it's like all of a sudden something will just float in. I'm like, and then something else. Focus on your breath. Focus on your breath. And then something, and I call them the golden nuggets. And it just.
I have found loving kindness meditation to be a really good one when I get into like those tight spots where there's that person, that something that's just like, and so when you do loving kindness for yourself,
Just one person.
yeah, but there's
Oh, yeah.
So I do loving kindness for myself, and I do loving kindness for someone I love, and then I do loving kindness for Jerry.
Everybody's got a Jerry.
And so, sometimes that can be really hard. Yeah. But he's in my life. He's in my daughter's life. He's going to be who he is. I'm not going to change him. So why not send a little love, a little loving kindness his way? And you know what it does? I don't know that it does anything for him, but boy, it does a journey.
Yeah,
Right?
so true.
So, and I can, we can joke about, because we all have Jerry in our life. I mean, maybe it's a daughter-in-law. I don't know. I got a great daughter. But anyway, so loving kindness is such a good thing, because you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for people you love. And then, you're really doing it for yourself again when you do it for that. Yeah. So for me, loving kindness was such a great find. I was able to do that with Sharon Salford, and she just made it so easy, and she was really good about explaining, the Jerrys that we have in our life. But, so if you got a Jerry, do it for me.
Yeah.
So, admittedly, we don't have a ton of time left, and that's can be difficult. I'm noticing that in my body, it's like a little tension, it's like. But I do want to talk about what's week 8 look like. Yeah, I mean, it's yours. It's always been yours. The invitations will be some form of continued practice. We're back to what's the time, the place, and the partner, and what that might look like. Does some people have some vision around this already, or what they found over the last 7 weeks at work, or some intentions maybe still for week 8? I think sometimes in the class, again, is that it's about, we're just showing up each week, seeing what's going to arrive. And in the end, it might not be what we expected, pleasant or unpleasant. We probably run into some things along the way. So, what's it look like?
I was thinking, do a personal practice, but I wanted to extend this, and then if people want to share their information. But instead of a book club, we could have a meditation club, and maybe we could meet If it's not every week, maybe it's once a month, and we check in, we do a guided meditation. We can sit around and talk about Jerry. But I think it's nice to, I don't know, I think I would feel better if I had a meditation support group.
I know it's so much easier when there's a group of people, because 40 minutes seems like a long time, but 40 minutes in this group is like,
Yeah. That's the longest meditation we've done.
Oh.
40 minutes on
Yeah.
retreat?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, today was really,
yeah, it's great.
it's like many things in life, when you start enjoying them, they're over. It's so true. I've been through some, let's say, trainings or something, and at the beginning it's, oh my God, it's tough, and then when you start understanding and getting the grasp of they're fun. So, and they're not that important in your life, so you don't keep doing them, but you regret it. But I think this meditation is very, very important, and I promised myself not only to try to do it as much as I can, but also to spread the word, because I'm noticing that regardless of the background that we had, the education, the spouses, whatever we had in life, nobody teaches us to be kind to ourselves. Nobody. It's sad. You know, we are, I don't know, maybe it's a very American background, but like you said, it's so similar. Cultures, it's always, I have to do. I was always taught to give, to be nice to people, to have compassion, to say the prayer and love for others. But although in my culture and my religion, we do have that concept, and we really, but we don't practice it. That we have to be kind to ourselves. And, it's really important, because no matter what church or what companion or what Jerry or what it's all about Jerry. So thank you very much for initiating us to that. And thank you to all of you.
And MBSR is such a gift. You know, all of you are such a gift. It's been, because she came to our retreat. Yeah. It's just, what a fortunate thing we got to do. Thank you. Yeah. Well, I coincide with what's your first name? Karen. Okay. With what you had to say, I would love it to continue once a month. Not that it's going to be salvation, but it's nice to have a group where you can share. I find that real. And also, I'm a little vain. I like looking good, and in one of the new churches we went to, we saw somebody from the past. Hadn't seen him in 20 years, and he said to me, my God, you're looking better than you did 20 years ago. So I don't know if it's a group, if it's Scott, but I want to continue that. So whatever, so that's everything. So whatever works, you know. I want to be known as a hot old lady.
What'd she say?
Yeah, you feel
Younger.
Yeah.
I feel younger.
Let's go to page 2 real quick. This is the partnership part, and only some of it. This is by no means encompassing, but this is just some of it. So, and I brought a pen and piece of paper. Maybe at the end of class, share what works with you. I want to add that, and I will email that to the group. Okay, I don't think we're going to have time to have our individual kind of like the partnerships, but I would like to hear from them. I'll jot it down and share it with the group. I will also add everybody's email to the group. I think you haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
Do not want your email out there. Let me know. I also note that Natalie and Ann have also been in contact with me, and we've been still working together. Although they're not here, we're still working. Okay. I want to let you know that too, but I'll include everybody's email on that. So some partnerships. One is, some of us have gathered on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays. I need to change this. On Fridays, Sally actually rings the bells for Fridays, and we're 3:12 on Fridays for half an hour. It's a half an hour set. So Sally and I and others hang out on Mondays and Thursdays, and it's always a different group. It's always different. Again, there's no charge. You just kind of just show up.
And it's just a half an hour for each one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. 12:15 to 12:45. We usually have a little bit of observations, noticing, wonderings, conversation at the end. So sometimes we go, we do a little loving kindness at the end and leave around before 1 o'clock. Some people have to go, and that's fine. So that's one option. I get that those times might not work for folks. Friends of Awakening is a long-standing group that's over near the west side, Lafayette Square area.
I've been.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. It's really
The
great.
Yeah.
therapist and her husband,
Yeah.
right, at their house.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's called Friends of Awakening. It's kind of Thich Nhat Hanh's tradition. It's a sangha. It's a community of people that get together, and there's a sitting practice, there's a walking practice, and then there's a mindful conversation. Lately, they've been talking about a book discussion on John Kabat-Zinn's "Wherever You Go, There You Are." There are other centers around, I won't note all of these. I will say, though, the Fatima Retreat Center. So once a month, they offer just kind of a self-led silent day. And so I find that helpful, just to kind of, I need a place, I need a space, and they're a partner. And so they have information on their website. I will send this list to you, and it'll link you to the website. Fatima does this. Oh, Fatima, yes. And there's, down on the south side, Beach Grove, also does I'll add that. I need to add that. They do also a self-guided day. And they offer a meal too, even breakfast. It's like $35. Your own room. It's a good value. Fatima.
Oh, that is Fatima. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So with our technology, that can be particularly activating, and but also connecting. There's a number of things here, and I've heard you all talk about some of these things. I will point out Mindful magazine or website. I think it's just good stuff.
It really is good.
So the magazine, it's kind of a little gift, sort of golden nugget, shows up in your mailbox once a month. The emails are full and plentiful, but they're good. Just so that would be one note. Movement practices, fortunately, wow, there's a lot of options. There's YouTube now, and there's a lot of online, and I like the online too. You can really say, all right, I have that 20 minutes, I want to do a little yin yoga, and you can really, I want this particular teacher. It's really, some of these online options are nice.
I haven't been to this place. It's Composed with a K, and it's right in Robertville. But I heard on Sunday night they have a restorative practices, and I guess it's like great. It's not fast movement. It's just and it's a great way to start your week.
What was it called?
Compose. Kompos.
And it's yoga.
I haven't been yet.
So let's continue to share this. We'll have our email. If you have a experience that says, like, oh, that resonated with me, maybe just say that. Send it on email or send it to me. I'll add it to this list. I'm sure there's a lot of partnerships that you already have and teachers and that type of thing that could be valuable.
I use Insight Timer as an app, and it's free. You can buy a premium, but for a timer and some guided meditations, Insight Timer is really Insight right here. Insight
Number
Timer.
3.
And so I have mine set up so that I do 10 minutes of pranayama, and then I have a little gong. You can pick out your own little gong, and you have your own setting. Then I do 30 minutes of meditation. And so it's really, I really like it. One's because it's free and they don't follow you. That's some of these do. Be careful, they follow you, and they cost money. And this one doesn't on the introduction. But I use it. It's
Have
great.
you found that any of these yoga places are more like what we've been doing? Because some of them are like fast yoga and everything. Are these, if you suggest one of someone?
I'm going to hold off.
Okay.
I think it's just too narrow of a view for the group. If you want individual, maybe I can help with that a little bit. But I think there can be a lot out there. Right, I've gone to, let's see, the place up to 110, and the music was blaring, and
Yeah,
we were dancing, and then, okay, so, but there is just some differences, and
Can I throw out a new idea? Okay.
I want maybe one more, and then we'll have to probably move on if that's okay.
Okay, real quick. I don't know if Sally's interested, but maybe once a month when we meet with Sally on Friday, those that could come, maybe we could be there for 40 or 50 minutes and share more. Would anybody be interested in that? Could do that. In picking up your idea. I can do that once a month.
At the same time.
Yeah. Well, can we meet afterwards then?
Yeah, the room is always reserved, and it's empty, and there's a bag of goodies to use to sit with or whatever, and Sally won't be there all the time. I'm not there all the time,
I'm
so
not there all
somebody
the
else,
time.
somebody else, just pick up the gong and look at the clock.
If we could stay,
Try your insight timer if you want.
if we could stay after here and for 5 minutes and just talk to her.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The other invitations are just maybe a little bit about an article about just intentions versus goals. I just thought that was the value. Covering from again, recovery from striving and goals and that type of thing. So maybe give that a read. The 2 things that are left maybe today is one, just maybe a final sharing about the class, and then I would like just to kind of do a final practice. And so maybe we can just maybe go around and just maybe a couple words. It can be just a couple words of what surface about.
You think he's saying, please, let it be just a couple words. You make talkers. Oh, maybe we should have a word or two.
Yeah. So what's kind of greeting you now?
I'm grateful for your gifts. I hope you stay this way. You have the gift of listening, but you also allow individual differences. And how many times I've been in groups over 60, 50 years, 40 years, okay. Don't make myself too old. But the people have told you, well, you have to think this way right now. By God, what's the matter with you? Sparks and blind. I really appreciate your openness and your kindness. Those are great gifts that you have. And I think all of us appreciate that and your time that you have spent.
Yeah. And a gift that you found about yourself in this journey.
I'm a pretty neat person, and I don't age.
Okay. Thank you.
So don't ask me, I'll lie.
I started out not sure, but my words are still working.
Well, we can jump around.
I just feel like it's helping me to thrive, to really be aware right now. And then the meditation involves some formal practice, yes, but it seems like it's more just being aware of what's happening in my life and relaxing with it and loving it. That's what's working for me with this.
My words are patience and calmness. And the reason is that I think I shared the very first class that I was working on patience this year. And my 12-year-old daughter, during the 8 weeks I've been doing this, has not one time told me to calm down or to be patient.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's your partner.
So I don't know what to make of that. Before this class, I was hearing that a lot.
That must feel good.
Someone else can go. I think I've already kind of talked about my experience. But thank you.
I got a chance to think, and I guess what I want to stay with is to stay present with love. Stay with that hurt feeling in my interactions and towards myself. But yeah, try. Continue trying.
I think for me, the big takeaway is that I have to put my own oxygen mask on first. And if I am wanting a sense of calm and peace within my home, it has to start with me. And I can't do that if I don't give myself the time and space, the opportunity to find that calm within myself. And if I can do that, it spreads. So thank you for the lessons. And I feel really sort of charged and excited about the future.
I'm very thankful that you allowed me to embark for the rest of my journey with a nice companion, which is myself. A nicer. Thank you.
I'm going to take a couple more words because I didn't agree, but it goes to the whole love. I do think this is a way, even though in a funny way you're closing in, you're opening up. And I noticed when this was such I felt sad as we were walking out after I wrote a book to myself, of course, and this was just an amazing morning meditation-wise, and I went through this, the order of it, and when we're doing the body scan, I usually hate that because I'm like, I need to feel the breath, why can't I feel the breath? And then I'm like, and then it just dawned on me, I'm like, ooh, how long now I've been doing this, and it was this realization, it's like, it's not about relaxing, it's just feeling, it's just, okay, that's how it is, it's not relaxing, that's okay. So I was like, okay, and then I felt kind of relaxed, and then we did the mindful movement, which I really enjoyed, and I feel like I've gone from yoga movement to like or tending to what I need. Yeah, it feels good. I'm going to stay up here. So that's very different rather than looking around and being like, I'm going to win. I'm going to be the best mindful. And then, so that was like, we had all these the golden nuggets with this coming in. And then at the end, I really had, and I'm not sure I want to share it, but it was so, because it's almost like it was a spell, but it was in this place, and I was, the organ, did you hear the organ?
Is that about it?
That was the organ in the sanctuary. I love doing the bow. I love just taking that pose, and I'm like, gosh, I wonder if I should go to church and bow to Jesus. Like, I always have this inner struggle with religion. And then I'm like, well, you know what? I feel like I bow to the greater spirit. And then I thought about what the greater spirit is, and it's the spirits. And then I had one by one, I had people in my life come to me who are gone.
Oh,
Wow.
Amazing.
yeah.
So I'm like, I just needed to be still enough to be right there.
That happens.
I feel it. So
Thank you.
Just wait till Jerry shows up.
go here.
They'll be there to help you. All those people will be there to help you.
So years ago, I read a magazine, and I think it might have been Mindful, because this is the kind of thing Mindful would do. It says, kind of describe your life in 6 words. Very fortunate woman. Now what? Now. So I feel free. I feel grace and extreme gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me come. It's great to finally get it finish the course. I went to the silent retreat day, and I feel like for days after that, it was just like this. I've never felt the way before, where it's just there's this stillness inside of me, and I almost didn't want to break it by really communing with other people. It was a very, very weird place for me because I'm pretty outgoing, and it was a very different head space and body space even to be in. But I was speaking with a friend of mine, and just said, I feel like I've come home. Like there's like that stillness of like, it wasn't really what I was even necessarily after in that regard, but in that moment, it just felt that way. Like, this was nice. So, and I don't want it to always just be this constant striving after something, you know, I'm going to get back to that place. I recognize that myself, you know, that for that striving, and I think it's more of just being grateful for that experience, and then just showing up and seeing what happens, being there for the moment.
Noticing tears, vibrations, sensations, a different voice, feeling of calming, grateful for all those before us, and that bring this knowing to bring this knowing. And it is, Albert said, a journey. be quite individual. And with fellow travelers, it adds much. So I appreciate your presence, your intentions, your curiosity, and your words. We're all learning and sharing, teaching. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If we have a few moments, we got to go back in that room and collect our stuff anyway. But let's sit down for a little bit. So we'll gather our stuff and go.
And thank you for all of these.
Yes, yes, I really
Really, yeah, I know. Really, yeah.
yes, I really enjoyed all the people.
So,
Yeah, so I know that maybe we want to still connect a little bit, but let's just, let's move, paying attention to our movement as we're moving over this heavy room. We'll just have a real brief sit,
You did. I knew it. Like how to study my home and the little thing. And I thought about the face.
So we'll just do a real brief sit over in the other room.
Move it. Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm worried about your all stuff.
So I think I'm hearing from others that sometimes there are certainly experiences and knowings that come from the formal practice, but a lot of the formal practice is just to be with life. And as we do practice formally, life will show up on the cushion, show up on the mat, our life. So we just pause just for a few minutes, just to notice and practice. Just noticing some of those familiar guides of feelings, body sensations, thoughts, our senses. Let's allow a few breaths just to, in a figurative sense, or maybe literal at some point, just hugging yourself and hearing gratitude. I'm also hearing that we need to do this for ourselves. How can I affirm, give gratitude, kindness to myself for giving me some time and place and partnership has been the class. It's your own intentions, your own journey and discovery and sharing that touches my heart. As said, sometimes we maybe need to be the change we want to see in the world. So, if it makes sense, let me know how it's going and how I might be supportive in week 8 or beyond. So today, until we meet again, may we be safe and secure. May our mind and body be at peace and ease as we experience life's joys and sufferings. May our spirit be filled with loving kindness, and may we know all things are just as they are. Thank you all.
Namaste.
Yes.
I have one little tip. This Mary Oliver, this poem is just like a few instructions for long life. Pay attention, be astonished, tell about it. So everybody needs to tell about MBSR.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Be astonished,
Be astonished.
tell about
Tell about it. Yeah, this sounds like that's what you all have been doing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And those that are interested in her, once a month we'll fly over here before we run.
Well, how about that?